Hello, welcome back. So let me start with a useful disclaimer. So if you are someone who believes and worships this Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev guy, then this video is not for you. You can stop watching right now. But if you are interested in science, truth, then you can watch. So the reason I give this disclaimer is because I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm interested in science. I want to expose the disabuse of science by this Jaggi Vasudev guy. Let's see what he has to say. In this video, he's going to talk about the science of death. Like if you have any understanding of science. Let's see what he understands science.
Have you ever died? Did you die and come back? No. In your experience, no, isn't it? Somebody else may say so, it doesn't matter. In your experience, no. Did you ever see somebody who died and came back? Have you ever seen a dead man? Yeah. Dead body you have seen. Have you seen a dead man? So you have not seen one, you have not met one, nor have you experienced. So where did you get this idea that you will die? It is…
So right away he starts with playing semantics. So he says dead body and dead man are different, and it's just semantics, how people talk about a dead person. So you can call dead man, dead body, dead human. It doesn't make any difference. It's just semantics, how people say about a dead human body. So anyway, so another thing is a lot of people seen dead body and a dead person or dead human. Even kids might have seen it because like life and birth, death is common, occurs in every families and relations. Not necessarily everyone would have seen it, but there's times someone end up seeing it. So there's nothing unnatural about seeing a dead body.
a fiction of the ignorant, created by the ignorant. There's no such thing as death, there's just life, life and life, moving from one dimension to another. So only when people are ignorant and their vision of life and their perception of life is very limited to physical nature of the…
So right away now he abuses the word of dimensions. So what he means the dimension? Well, what life changed into one dimension to another? What does he mean dimension? Does he ever explains? No. He thinks he knows it because you use it commonly in science and you heard it from the scientific world. Then he thinks he can use that word dimension and just put it on his belief and just to justify whatever he wants to justify. So it has no meaning. First of all, why he says there's no death? There's of course things that life is dying. It's not just human. Other life forms dies. Other animals dies. Plants dies. Even microbes like bacteria, fungus, they all die. So there's no such thing called death is absurd. So what is death? Let's see what he has to say about death.
existence, then they will think of life and death, otherwise there's just life and life. It's common knowledge that one is born. The life process, you didn't just pop out like pop.
So why it's a common knowledge one is born, why it's not a common knowledge that one is dead? He starts with, you don't know, you never seen anybody dying or dead. Why you seen? Why he assumes that you've seen someone is getting birth? Why it's a common knowledge that birth is a common knowledge, but not death is a common knowledge? He just randomly throws out words.
And fell here like a baby. Slowly you evolved in the mother's womb, isn't it? Life slowly infused itself into the flesh, and what is your mother's flesh slowly became you because you invaded that part. And
No, that's not how your child is born. So your mother flesh is not turning into you. You're not mother's flesh. So a mother have a half of your genetic component DNA, then other half comes from your father. So when those two infuses, then you start growing from your mother's nutrients from her blood and oxygen, which she gets from outside. So the flesh she has, she has it. You're not growing out of her flesh. You are growing out of her nutrients in her blood and the oxygen from outside the wall. She breathes and give it to you through her blood. So that's how you grow. And by the way, and you don't evolve. And he doesn't understand the word evolution means. Evolution or how the life evolves. So you're not actually evolving, you are growing. There's a difference between growing and evolving.
That became you. It's happened slowly. So even when you die, you ever spent some time with a dead body? You will see up to 11 to 14 days, fingernails will grow, facial hair will grow. All hair will grow, but because if somebody has shaved, you can see it's growing.
No, that's
The prana doesn't…
no, that's totally absurd. Once you die, yeah, others. First, let me start with how science considered death. So, when your brain stops functioning, your nervous system stops functioning, you are dead, because your body and the mind it doesn't exist anymore, because the brain does not function anymore. So in order for your body to function, your nervous system has to function. The nervous systems makes your muscles to twitch. So that's how you breathe. That's how your heart functions. So that's how the oxygen from air goes into your body. When the oxygen doesn't go in your body, the heart slowly stop functioning, because for a human body to function, you need both nutrients and oxygen. So that's how body works. Once those process there's a normal biochemical process that stops, then you are dead. But what he is saying has nothing to do with the reality and science.
leave the system immediately. You're dead for practical purposes. For the world…
No, and again, so once you are dead, that means your central nervous system will stop functioning, and you don't have any mind, because for your mind to exist, your brain and nervous system has to function. Then your heart's going to stop, because you're not going to breathe. Your body not going to get oxygen. Then your heart going to not receive oxygen. Then your heart also going to stop. It could occur either way. Heart could stop first, then without oxygen, your brain not going to function. So it could the stopping could occur any order, different order. So after that, once your brain and your nervous system stops functioning, then other cells and other organs slowly start dying. But that's including your hair, hair and skin. So they're not dying within a minute or so, or an hour. It takes maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. So at most, the longest any cell in your body could function is maybe 1 hour, 2 days, or at most 3 days. So nothing going to function after that, because your body is part of the environment where the biochemical change going to occur, and the life form like a bacteria and fungus going to start invading, and the chemical change is going to occur. Your body going to disintegrate, because your body is not functioning actively to oppose those chemical reactions. Then your body going to disintegrate. So there's nothing, no cells going to live for 14 days, 2 weeks. That's totally absurd. So he just made it up. Why? Because he just made it up. There's no science. He has no understanding of any science. He just made things up.
World you are dead. For yourself, you are not fully dead. That will take 11 to 14 days. That's the reason the karmas and kriyas are done, the way it is done. When you
No, that's not the reason. Those karma, kriyas, all those are done based upon belief. They are rituals. So the ritual based on Hindu belief that life transform life in a sense soul, the soul in a sense that your mind and consciousness that doesn't need your body including brain, but that's not true, but that's a belief. So that's a belief that your soul, or you can use the word life, or whatever is convenient for you. So that transform from one form to another, body to another body. So that's a belief. So in order to help that process, then they do rituals. So that's a belief. There's no science in it, but he pick up some science with like a dimension and other how cells dies. Then he just making it up as if those rituals are done based on reasons. No, they are done based on belief.
burn the body, it's just instantly out, everything is finished. You must go to Manikarnik Ghat and see. On an average in Kashi, every day about 40 to 50 bodies are burnt. Just sit there for 3 days. If you sit in sadhana there for just for 3 days, you will see what a difference it will make. Simply because this energy is being forcefully ejected from the bodies. Because the energy is being forcefully thrown out and there's a phenomenal amount of energy, and if you know how to use it, this is the reason why all the certain types of yogis are doing sadhana, including Shiva himself, always doing sadhana in the cremation ground, because
Gosh, so the sadhana means it's a Sanskrit word for realization. So it could mean a meditation, whatever, it could mean whatever you want. What's a realization? Whatever you want it to be. So he's saying that when the body is cremated, an enormous amount of energy is released, and he insinuating this energy means life. What life is released? There's no life is released. Your body stops to function. You don't have any consciousness. There's no consciousness exists outside the brain and nervous system. There's nothing really. So, but if you burn body, yeah, it's a exothermic reaction, chemical reaction. Then it's going to release heat energy, but it doesn't need a body. You can burn another animal or plant, another wood, any other organic material you can burn and it'll release energy. So what are you realizing? What is the sadhana you're observing there? And what you're actually realizing or sadhana or observing is carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. And that's there's nothing good for you. There's nothing good in observing carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. It's totally absurd.
without harming any life, you still can make use of life. So, what they are doing is, there is still prana in the body that is dead. So they are sitting there. If you go there to Manikarnik and Harishchandra Ghat, Aghoris will be sitting there watching. Everybody who will come, they inquire, how old is this person, how did he die? That's why some of them…
So again, he used the word prana, and prana in Sanskrit means breathing. So it's breath, it gives life. So it's an assumption life and breath are same. And that's how you see when a person stops breathing, he dies, he's not functioning anymore. So that's why the prana is associated with life. But he's saying prana is released. So even if you assume that prana means not just necessarily breath, but life or soul, what is released? There's nothing other than carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide and heat energy released. There's nothing consciousness coming out.
Who don't want that to be known, they're covering with plastic sheets, where people cannot see. How old is the person? They won't say. How old was the person? But the Aghoris want to know. If it's a young person, somebody who was vibrant life and for some reason he died, they want that kind. When that happens, they want to do work there. They want to make use of the energy that's released. Once the body begins to burn, this prana has to exit immediately.
Oh my gosh, again, he is saying basically if a young person dies, the young person has a lot of energy. If an old person dies, the old person doesn't have energy. So that's why these Aghoris want to go and sadhana or observe or realize the young person. If you burn a young person body who weighs less and has less body mass than an old person, the amount of heat energy released is less than the old person. Basically, if you are a young person but you are lean, but there's another person old but he's a fat, actually he's end up releasing more energy than the young person. So if the Aghori doesn't know it's a young person or old person, what he has to do? He has to do more sadhana to catch up, catch up for more energy. So say if the Aghori only get a old person, he doesn't get a young person. So he has to add up a lot of old person body to get those energy. Like say he only get one old person, not like two young person. So that means he get less energy. So that's the reason this Aghori are trying to get a young person. Why can't this Aghori say add up like a 10 old person for instead of one young person? So he doesn't have a time to add up that energy. Like what else this Aghori has to do? He's out of his schedule. Like he just made this all up. Oh, what a bollocks.
When that exits, they want to make use of that life energy to do something with themselves. And especially when fire is there, the element fire creates a certain aura or a certain sense of Akash around it always. Akash is significant for human perception. Only where there is Akash, a strong presence of Akash, one's ability to perceive is enhanced. So here both are happening. One thing is lot of energy being ejected out of the remaining aspect of prana is being thrown out because body is being destroyed, the foundations are being taken away. And there is fire. Together, it is a very conducive atmosphere for one who wants to know, for one who wants to heighten his own energies. So cremation grounds have always been so.
Oh my gosh, he just now made up all the stuff. First he said the body releases energy, then he said the body releases life. Now he's saying the body also releases light, that's a fire. So there are three different things the body releases, energy, life and fire. What does he think fire is? Fire is not energy? It's form of heat energy and light, heat and light, so they are energy. So but now he says, no, the fire is different, energy is different. And then also there's a life. There's three different things. Like, he doesn't have any basic understanding of science, yet he used all the scientific words and jargons and justify his belief. There's one thing, I think that you are a religious person, you hear from stories and culture and you believe it, that's fine. But don't abuse science. And then science has specific meaning, and that's a study of understanding of the nature on us, including us humans. But what he does is take the scientific words and use it for religious belief, and he says he knows more about the world because he used scientific words. So he's totally a con man, a charlatan. Whatever he says has no meaning whatsoever. It's totally absurd. He's an intolerable guy. I don't know how people listen to this guy. So sad.